Good morning, everybody. It is a pretty brisk November morning, and I'm out here with Dad getting ready to check out some new habitat that we have not really been in much at all. We'll see what we can get into. Oh, it's rattle. We gotta be careful here, because, oh my.
See the rabbit? And he was right there.
What on earth?
I was looking up there.
Yeah.
And didn't know he was right here.
That's insane. So Dad found this nasty, gross, half-digested rabbit sitting here, and I guess just happened to notice right next to it is a big adult diamondback that evidently decided it had to throw this thing up. Is there a hole right there?
Yeah.
There sure is.
Big hole.
Of course. So this is just another one of those really just strange scenarios where we have a hole right here with the biggest wild snake poop I've ever seen. That's like fresh. That is a fresh giant snake poop right there. Almost certainly came from this snake. So question is, why did he throw that rabbit up? Because my dad, it wasn't a reaction to us because he saw the rabbit before he even saw the snake.
A long time before, really.
That is so strange. So here's a look at this just ridiculous turd with my hand for scale. I mean, that is a substantial bowel movement. And then it's just like every winter there's just something like this with diamondbacks. It's just so perplexing. Big poop. It's like he woke up, had a giant poop, then was like, oh man, that does not really fix my problem. I have to throw up. And then threw up a giant rabbit. And the crazy thing is it still looks like it has a rabbit in it. I mean, the snake is not skinny after throwing that rabbit up.
Thicker than my arm.
So obviously this is a big and impressive snake as always, but just the context of this encounter is what makes it so strange. If you'll recall, last winter we had an almost identical thing happen where we found a rabbit that looked like it had been bitten by a snake and potentially even half swallowed by a snake and then thrown up again. And then we eventually came back a couple days later, and a different diamondback had shown up and eaten the rabbit and was basking with the other diamondback that was already there and was presumably just too small to eat the rabbit. So that raises the question, does this snake have another rabbit in it still, and is that why it's so just healthy looking despite having just presumably thrown up that one? We don't know for sure that is even where that thing came from. There could be another diamondback right here that we just haven't noticed yet that's even bigger. All right, we're going to give this big guy his space, but very, very cool to see a diamondback here. We're pretty much just scouting a new spot right now, and then Dad stumbles across this guy. So we still have the whole day ahead of us. I really wouldn't expect it to get much better than that, but you never know. It's really good weather today, very humid and warm for November, considering how cool it has been over the last week or so. So we're going to keep at it. We'll be at it for most of the day, and hopefully we'll see some more snakes. But if we don't, we started strong. You can see what I mean a little better from this angle. Like, it is a very, very thick snake, especially there on the back end. I'm pretty sure this thing has more rabbits inside of it, even after throwing up a pretty dang big rabbit. I mean, that honestly does look a bit big for this snake to successfully digest this late in the year. But what do I know? I'm not a rattlesnake. This cool scarab beetle just flew in while I was wrapping up looking at this diamondback. I don't know if he's probably going to go roll that giant diamondback turd. This is so weird. Just such strange terrain to see on a day where our only snake of the day was an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. And then it looks like this here. It's super steep, super rocky. Just very, very strange habitat. This is absurd. I could literally crawl in here. This is like functionally a cave. In fact, I would be pretty surprised if this was not used by Native Americans at one point as shelter, just given the location we're in today. All right, guys, well, it's getting late. The time changed last night, which makes me want to throw up, but we did pretty well today. Just the one snake, but any day we hike up a diamondback is a good day. And we got a lot done today in terms of scouting habitat for the future. Found a lot of tin that we'll certainly be finding snakes in the future. And we set up quite a few of those spots so they'll be better and easier to flip in the future as well. So all around a really productive day, just the one snake. And that tends to be how winter goes. It'll either be super snaky or you'll get like 1 or 2 good snakes at most before it gets dark on you. So check that thing out. That is a spectacular moth. Whatever these are, I've never seen anything quite like them. They're like a bigger version of a moth that I see fairly often, looks similar, but you can see they've got very bright pink on their wings as they fly away. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day in early November. We've got some nice drifting cloud cover, a little bit more humidity than we normally have this time of year. And I'm going to spend the day doing a mixture of walking, driving, and flipping. Just because I'm really not sure what most of the snakes are going to be doing today, since we are in the awkward transition between fall and winter. So I'm just going to hit it hard, try as many tactics as I need to, and hopefully we will get into some snakes. So let's get to it. Well, I just lost a pine snake. Just had the tip of its nose starting to come out of a hole. But yeah, that sucked. Cool to see one, but it's not like we didn't know they were here already. Really, really crazy first snake of the day. Maybe he'll come back out later. We'll do a few laps around this area and come check back up on it and see if he has emerged later in the day. Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a quick break from today's episode to tell you guys that the 2025 Giving Tuesday raffle for conservation is live. We are once again teaming up with the Orient Society to raise money for conservation by hosting a raffle and auction this year, where there will be a lot of cool prizes, including a field trip with myself, this time into the mountains of North Georgia, where part of this episode was filmed. There's tons of great prizes like North Georgia themed merchandise, including a green salamander hoodie, and a signed copy of Snakes and Snake Hunting by Carl Caulfield is available to bid on in the auction. And like I said, the grand prize is a trip to North Georgia with myself and Ben Stigenga, where you'll have a chance to see awesome animals like the timber rattlesnake and the green salamander. I'll put a link to the Giving Tuesday raffle in the description of this video, so make sure to check it out for more details. And I am super excited to get to hang out with one of you guys once again. So this is a very exciting opportunity to get to join me in the field in my home turf in the part of the state that I know the best in search of reptiles and amphibians. So make sure to check out the description of this video if you're interested. All proceeds go to the Orient Society and their conservation work to protect the animals and the habitat that we love. Thank you so much for supporting us, and back to the video. There's a surprising amount of fall color coming out down here for an area that's dominated mostly by pines. All these little shrubs, whatever that big nice tree in the back there is, just looks good out here. It's always a plus when the habitat you're herping is also very pretty. But yeah, I'm wrapping up here. I'm gonna stop by and check on a spot that has had a cottonmouth hanging out that's particularly big, and I haven't been able to get any video of him yet, so we're gonna go see if we can spot that guy, and then we'll probably go flip some tin. So I first saw this cottonmouth a couple weeks ago, and I got it up on the bank, and before I was able to get any videos or photo of it, it started freaking out and escaped. So we're gonna try to catch it again today and get a better look at it. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Hey. Holy cow. This thing is so stupid. So I don't know what this thing's been eating, but it's full of whatever it is, and one of the biggest cottonmouths I've ever seen. I don't know if it's the longest lengthwise, but girth-wise and lengthwise into account, it's one of the biggest I've ever seen. Being this late in the season, we want to make sure we let this guy go so he doesn't regurgitate his last meals of 2025. And we'll continue with our day. What a fantastic looking snake. There you go, dude. This is so cool, I almost want to cry. I'm taking an L. I came over here to look for my flashlight because I think it got ripped off of my hip while I was looking at that cottonmouth. And if you'll recall, I brought the cottonmouth up through here, and then we stood right there and looked at it. So I noticed over there was a cottonmouth that we didn't see. And then right here, there is simply an eastern mudsnake. There's simply a mudsnake basking. There's a basking mudsnake right there. What? So obviously this is very unusual behavior for a mudsnake. I hope it's healthy. It doesn't look screwed up. I can see its head right there. I mean, what on earth? I mean, look at this. I've stopped at this creek 100 times. I've never found a mudsnake just basking before either. That is just insane. Really insane. I was just I was looking really hard for my flashlight, and I thought that maybe that shiny black thing I saw right there is my flashlight. Still haven't found my flashlight, and I'm not even mad about that. Easily would trade my flashlight for that mudsnake, and I think that's probably what we're gonna have to do today. But what on earth? I mean, it's possible I stood right next to this thing already today when I was looking at the cottonmouth. I think I took it up there, and then when I let it go, it slid past right here. So we might even be able to see the mudsnake if it was there in my other video. But let's pick this thing up and get a look at it. Oh my goodness. Is it alive? Yeah, it's alive. It's literally just sitting here basking. What? That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. I am in disbelief. There's not even a blemish on it. I thought because it was just sitting there that it was going to have something wrong with it and be dead. But it's not. It's just a healthy mudsnake. My first ever Central Georgia mudsnake. So, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about mudsnakes in North Georgia often. They're rare in North Georgia on like a pine snake level. And then here in Central Georgia, they're not too far behind. I mean, there's definitely places in parts of Central Georgia where they're more common, but I've seen one DOR here, and then a friend of mine found one basking just like this in the middle of a creek. And other than that, I've never even heard of anybody finding them in this area. It's ridiculous. This literally feels like something out of a fever dream. I've seen 3 snakes, no 4 snakes, including the second cottonmouth. 2 cottons, a pine snake that got away, of course, and then this. What on earth? What an incredible fall. And this is just me trying to squeeze a few more snakes out of the season before we leave on a very long trip out of country. And it's ended up being some of the best herping of the year, especially if we'd been able to get that pine snake today. I'm just so glad I realized I lost my flashlight and I came back to look for it, and it had turned into a mudsnake. It literally turned into a mudsnake. I mean, tell me that's not what happened. Since I'd never seen any mudsnakes in this area, I had no idea what they looked like, so I was actually kind of shocked to see just how dark this thing is. I mean, from the top, it's almost completely solid black. And then you get a little bit of red coming up the sides, and then, of course, the just incredibly red face. This snake legitimately feels mythical to hold. I don't know. I mean, this is probably one of maybe 2 or 3 live snake species that even exist in this county that I've yet to see. And on top of that, they're just such an awesome snake. They live in these big ponds. There's lots of habitat for them here, but just imagine trying to find this snake in that. It's like a needle in a haystack. Legitimately. I mean, you can come out here at night in the summertime and try to shine for them, but I've never had any luck with that either. And then just randomly in November, full-grown, healthy adult basking. Realistically, could be one of our last snakes of the year. It's going to be in the mid-20s later next week. And then, like I said multiple times, we'll be out of here for a few weeks. We are leaving the country for a escape from winter trip this year. What a fantastic snake, though. Something I hope we see more of. These guys are dietary specialists, or thought to be dietary specialists, eating almost exclusively sirens and amphiumas, which, of course, inhabit these big, murky lakes. I also definitely think this is a particularly vibrant mud snake. Really, really bright yellows on this guy's face, almost more like a rainbow. Their close relative, which, as far as I know, has never been found in this series of counties. It is possible that there's both muds and rainbows here, though. I'm really excited to get home and look and see if this thing's visible in the cottonmouth video, because As you could see when I went to pick it up, there's nothing going on behind those eyes. This thing did not react to me whatsoever. I mean, they're well known for being one of the derpiest snakes imaginable, and this one is definitely no exception, but just a beautiful animal. I was shocked to see that it was in perfect condition, because normally when you see basking Francia, they are all messed up. And maybe it's possible this guy does have something wrong with him, and it just won't be visible until later in the winter, and that's why he's basking right now. But I got to see him while he's looking sharp. We're going to hope that this guy is completely healthy and is going to survive the winter without any issues. But fantastic eastern mud snake. To continue to highlight what has been a fantastic day, we've only seen 3 snakes, and I wish I had video of the pine, but I mean, just wow, what a ridiculous day. It's also just starting to sink in that this is actually the closest I've ever found to a North Georgia mud snake. It's the first mud snake I've found in Georgia that was not in basically coastal Georgia. So much closer to that goal of a North Georgia mud snake, although definitely nowhere near North Georgia still. The snakes are probably acting pretty similar in this part of the upper coastal plain. The habitat's kind of similar to the part of the Piedmont that has mud snakes, lots of cottonmouths. There's a lot of commonalities between this spot and where we look for them, so I feel like I've learned a lot today with this and the pine snake observation. 2 incredibly valuable observations just from a knowledge gaining standpoint, even if the pine did get away. Well, I don't know that there's anything left to do now besides put this guy back and maybe, I guess, continue on with the day. I really cannot imagine the day possibly getting any better than that. Seems like the rain has kind of petered out. I could have sat here and taken photos of this thing all day, though. What an amazing animal. All right, no sign of Titan cotton, but I'm going to just put this mud snake right here where we found it and let it do its own thing. As you can see, they just don't do much. That's how mud snakes are. He did a little bit of puffing up when we first caught him, but other than that, completely chill. No effort to really bite or do anything but sit there. Love him. We'll leave him to it and continue on. You know, if you were standing right here next to me right now and you squinted and you closed your eyes a little bit and it almost feels like mid to late March rather than November. And also having just found a basking mud snake, I think helps, but it feels really great out. We're gonna go flip a little bit of tin to end the day and hopefully we'll see a snake or 2. But if, you know, honestly, I don't even care at this point. I'm on cloud 9. Let's go rattle some junk. Check the sumac out. This stuff looks incredible right now. Hey, there's our kingsnake. Kind of surprised he's still there. Is that the same snake? It looks a little smaller. I'm pretty sure it's the same snake though. All right, guys, well, since we flipped this snake a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to mess with him. We like to have our resident snakes hang out and see them multiple times. But another look at this guy under the same set he was under a few weeks ago. And cool to see a king in November, too. My first November king from this particular part of the state. Oh, my baby diamondback, what? Oh my goodness. Look at his shed. His shed's right there. Holy cow. Oh my God. All right, we're gonna be competing with fire ants here, but holy crap. Neonate eastern diamondback as flipped with its first shed. Well, actually, that's probably its second shed. Its first shed was probably with its mother. Holy cow. That is so ridiculously cool, but it's getting dark on me. It's raining. I'm getting bit by fire ants, and I don't want this little snake to get bit by fire ants, so we're going to leave him to it. Holy crap, what a day. All right, y'all. Well, I believe that's going to do it for the day. Like I said, getting dark, starting to rain a little bit. Probably not going to rain enough that it's actually going to be any good for herping tonight. Otherwise, I'd stay, but man, what an unbelievable day. It's nice to win one every once in a while, okay? It's been a very rough fall. The only reason I'm taking it as well as I am is because I am jumping ship here in a little bit. And I have a really exciting trip coming up. So that's what you guys have to look forward to. The biggest trip we have ever made on this channel, the longest trip. It's going to be crazy. Good morning, everybody. I am up in the North Georgia mountains today preparing for my last trip before we leave the country for a couple of weeks. I'm up here filming promo for this year's 2025 Giving Tuesday raffle. But while I'm up here, I'm going to do some snake hunting. So let's see what we can find. Looks just as snaky as I expected it to. There's a big one right here. Oh, a racer. Basking. All right, first and possibly only snake of the day in the North Georgia mountains today. Got a big black racer out basking next to 10. Not a bad find for November, honestly. Next to this set of 10 we've yet to flip, so we'll look under there and see if there's anybody under the 10, but first snake of the day at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, unfortunately. Ready to flip? God. Oh, king! Oh my God! Oh, can you hook the vegetation? Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. King racer double. Oh, he put nacho cheese on me. All right, well, there we go. November mountain king snake in North Georgia and a racer. He is cold, like he just crawled out of that hole to come see us.
Yeah, he is cold.
That is a fantastic king snake. And then, of course, our racer who's just absolutely hanging out.
Getting neglected now.
Well, that is very cool. Not the main target of the day. The main target of the day was milk snakes, but black king's the next best thing if we're going to find a Lampropeltis. Or if we're going to find any snakes today, it might as well be a Lampropeltis of some kind. And so weird to see our first two snakes of the day, this black king and a racer, right next to each other. The bracer was basking next to the 10, and then the black king under it. All right, we got a little sun on this girl. She's looking good in the afternoon light. The flies are loving it, as always. But a nice, actually it's not a girl, it's a male. He flopped his male parts out and let me see him when we caught him. But beautiful snake. Very, very late in the year here in early November to get a black king snake in the mountains of North Georgia. And we are properly up in the mountains right now. This is basically like a montane getula. But very, very nice looking snake and a great way to highlight the day if we don't see anything else. We really have not seen much of anything but salamanders today, and unfortunately I haven't been filming most of them. I mean, what more is there in life that you could ask for than late season kings and pines and all the awesome good stuff we've been getting into over the last few outings? I mean, it has been, so far November has been better than October. I have no reservations saying that. October was terrible, and this year was particularly bad. But then November, here at the very tail end, the last days of the season, very healthy, just a stunning black king snake here at a new spot that I set up this spring and had not found any snakes at until today. So really, really rewarding way to kind of highlight our day if we don't see anything else. But beautiful black king. We'll put him back under the 10. We actually have quite a bit left to flip here too, so there might be more coming. We'll see. What a stunner. All right, we photographed the king. We're here to let it go. Racer's still hanging, hasn't even moved. We'll just let this beauty go back into his 10. I can't wait to come flip this in the spring now. If we found two snakes here in the fall. Well, winter really. This is functionally early winter. It's going to be 24 degrees in 2 nights. There we go. All right, everyone. Well, it was a fantastic day today here in the mountains. Only one real significant find, but it was definitely a good one. We set up a lot of flip today for the future too, so I have little doubt that our efforts today are going to pay off even bigger in the future. And it was nice to see a king snake today as well. So on that note, I'm probably going to end today here, and I will see you guys next time I get out.